out of your mouth is a goddamn lie. Every reporter that has given you a pedestal should be shot. You have stolen billions of dollars, and the only thing that you could say is that you are deeply sorry. You are not deeply sorry, and you're not a goddamn vegan. How does one eat 7,000 shrimp by accident? This was no accident, sir. You commingled with your hedge fund on purpose. Disgraceful! God damn!
Good morning, good evening, good night. Welcome into another edition of NFT Live. I love Haynes. Gabriel Haynes is my favorite follow on Twitter at this point. Folks, we are going to have ourselves a fucking phenomenal episode because Doc Gables is here.
What's up, y'all?
Doc, Gabriel, I don't know if you're Docs or not, Gabe, but I'm going to just go ahead. Okay, yeah, all right. Gabe is back from Bitlectro Labs, a huge OG community member and supporter, and just I couldn't talk this guy up enough. Gabe is back on the network. It's good to have you, man. How are you doing today, bud?
I'm great. I was laughing quite audibly with that clip at the beginning. I hadn't seen that one yet. That was amazing. I'm about it. I'm great. Thank you for having me back. Love the show. I've been tuning in the last few weeks, and finally I've got my gear set up so I could be a guest again, which is exciting.
Look phenomenal, man. You look phenomenal. Gift Ed, how are you doing there in your cowboy hat? I guess it's a standard attire for you now.
Yes, sir. I believe, laughing audibly, I believe the kids call that lulls or lolling, actually.
Ruffling, maybe.
Yeah, maybe ruffling. But no, I loved that because, shout out, what's that guy's name?
I think it's Gabriel Haynes. I want to say it's Gabriel Haynes.
Yo, because you know what? He is putting a voice and an emotion to, given
a generation.
He's giving the truth a spanking and making sure that it's out there and we're not gonna let them keep fucking gaslighting us. And dude, what is the mainstream media doing? Fucking giving this guy a fucking platform to go out and it's not even an apology tour. It's I didn't even fucking know I didn't he's just straight up lying, saying he committed no fraud, that he didn't know that he was commingling any of the money from what the fuck, dude? Stop it. Stop.
Yeah. So we got a rush of interviews that we'll kind of play here on the channel here, the show here today, that we'll talk about here in just a second. But before we do, Fun Uncle is in the building. The man, the myth, the legend, the Hawaiian shirt connoisseur himself, Fun Uncle.
You got me wrong, dude. The question of the day is, how do you eat 7,000 shrimp on accident? That's what I'm leaving this video with, is how do you? I fell down a flight of stairs and landed in 7,000 shrimp. I'm a vegan. Hey, but thanks for having me on, guys.
Girlfriend, told me a similar story.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
what was his name?
All right. Listen, we're gonna have ourselves 4-person episodes. The quad box, as I will forever call it, are just better. They just hit different. A quad box NFT lives just hit different. I love it. Can
we bump up Fun Uncle's audio a little bit? He's coming in a little light.
I'll turn his ass up.
I have been losing a little weight. Thanks for noticing, dude. I'm a little lighter than usual. Stop. Get out of my pants. My eyes are up here, bud. I'm not 7,000 shrimp for you to munch on, okay? I'm more than that.
Okay, I don't know how I'm going to keep this on the rails today. Hash Rhymes is saying, happy to see Doc Gables back on the show. Prodigy is saying the timer needs to be set to 5 minutes, y'all. Should be ready at 12 Central Time. Absolutely not happening. Marty McFly says, I got about 5 days of NFTs left in me, which essentially, to Fun Uncle's point, is 7 years in the real world. Stamina, Wine Bags, Nick Swervis, Santino, that the chat is absolutely getting after it. Dickenza's, Will D, and Prodigy is finally saying, what a fucking lineup of characters we got today. A pleasure for sure.
Boys, I don't know what Will D's cooking. I want to know what Will D's cooking up, bro. That's all. That's the
let
big
us know.
Question. Is there shrimp involved? Sorry, go ahead, Q. Keep us on track.
I will not today. I will not
Shrimp
today.
jokes all day today.
All day. I want to give a quick shout out to Ronan the Collector, another co-host on the show. Speaking of co-hosts, I meant to say this during the quad box comment, but if you want to be on NFT Live, guys, and you are, cool enough to be up here on the stage with us four, hop in, man. Like I'm saying, four box episodes are the best. If you want to join these conversations and you have a face for video, please let us know. If it's a face for radio, I can't do it. Ronan the Collector says, shout out to 8 Beverages for keeping us all hydrated this week. Clutch Morning H2O. This because he's in Art Basel. So we just wanted to give another shout out to an OG co-host as well. Oh, really?
I got to say hi to him last night. Well, so I was FaceTiming with the boy Double D, Drew Denzyson, who's rooming with him. They're bunking, they're spooning
from the Royals.
Warm. Yeah, from the Royals. And so I was FaceTiming and got to see Ronan briefly last night. Yeah, I mean, dude, radio faces is I thought what this show was built on. I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, this is the bar for anyone wondering. Yeah, this is the bar. I don't know what
you're talking about. But anyway,
Uncle, you need to get on the train with the beard, man. That's the only thing I'll say about this. Do you shave every morning? Do you do a straight razor blade?
Once a week.
Really? Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
I've tried, and I look homeless. The way my hair comes in looks very heroin problem-y. And so,
more or less homeless than this right here.
That's great. That looks good.
Oh, you look good, Gif.
Manicured even, and it's filling in nice. Mine looks like I need money. I need $1.
Don't we all?
It's a great
Yeah,
song.
we all do at this juncture.
Yeah, geez. Actually, I was lifted up the other day. I realized that we all have more money than R. Kelly. He is negative $2 million in
and
the hole.
SBF.
So
maybe.
Think about that. Whenever you're down, you have more money than Trapped in the Closet guy.
Don't be parroting this SBF fucking bullshit. He fucking laundered like billions of dollars, bro. Like, oh, I'm broke. I'm down to my last credit card. Like, get the fuck out of here. Dude, they just bought like $150 worth of real estate in Bahamas yesterday. Like, no. Stop.
I will in fact stop.
Also, wait, shout out Winebags, who's in the chat. Winebags literally knowingly, we took a song request to go out on GM-Web3. He knowingly had us play a 7.5-minute heavy metal song.
I heard that.
The show today.
That was great.
All right, guys, we are getting started here on today's episode. Listen, the first couple, we're going to hit on some quick news, including a couple of those SBF interviews. We got a Blur airdrop that apparently is going on, and then we are going to get into breaking news and possibly the biggest news that you'll hear in 24 hours. I'm sure something else will come up that will completely eclipse this in the next day. But Coinbase Wallet, their latest release, was blocked on the Apple App Store. So Apple is taking a hard stance, and it's actually an impossible task that they've banned Coinbase Wallet for. They want people to pay gas fee. I guess they want people to match the gas fee that was paid for the transaction of the NFT in the app. If that makes any sense.
On top of the gas fee network tax.
So that we'll get to that in a second. And then we have Anon founders getting doxxed. G-Money doxed himself. Frank DeGods doxed himself. So we are going to touch on a little bit of Anon stuff. One thing we're not going to touch on today is the rabbit hole that was gone down in the GM-Web3 morning show. I hopped up on stage today. I was waiting for Gifted to tag me in. Usually he's like, hey, what up, Nifty Q? And then it immediately got into the fact that we're going to be all killed by robots.
iRobot police state is coming in, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Sometimes you got to tag yourself in, you know what I'm saying?
Apparently today was that day.
Yeah. Was this in response to the little parade of R2-D2s that was delivering food yesterday?
No, but were they armed? Okay. Because I wouldn't be surprised. No,
they might have been.
This is because we are starting to see police departments, local law enforcement passing.
Gifted, no. You could,
killer robots are now legal. They can kill human.
Turns out police officers have been too compassionate, and they said they needed cold-blooded killers on the street. Let's give robots guns.
Our fully militarized police state is not militarized enough, and they're too scared to go out and actually do their jobs by themselves. So they need the robots to go.
What I need to see is Gifted on the street with his double revolvers and a Mexican standoff, just
With a fucking robot, I can't win, dude. There's no,
True.
no. This is fucking stupid already.
Dickens is asking, are they AI or remote controlled? I think they're remote controlled for now. That is the take for now. But
Yeah,
that
you know what? So are the drones that are fucking bombing school buses of children overseas. All right, sorry, Q. All right, you know what?
We're hyping people up on this Thursday
all right,
episode.
just
Wait, what
us
happened?
three today. Yeah, Gifted is gone,
Just
but
us
he
three
will
guys.
return. He will return. All right.
Oh, he's getting some cow milk.
I'm gonna do. Oh, no towel milk today for the cowboy. For the
Okay.
cowboy. All right, but this is what I'm gonna do. SBF, of course, been in the news for the better part of 2 months now, even longer. Thank you for the backwards hat, there, fun uncle. There was an interview. I am going to play my audio from this computer. Again, the technicals of this, I'm not going to speak. I'm going to ask you guys not to talk while we play parts of this interview. But this was on national news. He's done, I think, 3 interviews in the past. In the past, I would say not even 24 hours. Like probably somewhere in the vicinity of 18 hours, he's done like 3 separate interviews. This was probably the best one because this interviewer, and his name is escaping me, asked him straight up about the funds being transferred from FTX to Alameda Research, and you can see him talk about it. I'm going to share my system audio, so we're just going to kind of play some tidbits. Hopefully we don't get completely shadow banned, but let me go into this really quick here and see if we got it. Let me know if this audio is coming through.
You and see Bernie Madoff.
Yeah.
Is that coming through?
I mean, I don't think that's who I am at all, but I understand why they're saying that. People lost money. And
Ellison, because FTX deposits
yep,
were used to pay Alameda's creditors. Carolyn Ellison said you knew about that. Is that true?
you know, best I can tell, Alameda did have a big position open on FTX. That position, I think, was very over collateralized a year ago. There was a total market collapse, and specifically a large correlated collapse in its assets, over the last month, and to some extent over the last year. I understand a lot of what
I got to skip
happened.
around so we don't get
I'm
banned.
no cryptocurrency expert. I'm no finance expert,
Yep.
but I don't think you answered my question. I was asking,
Yep.
did you know that FTX deposits were used to pay off Alameda creditors?
I don't know of FTX deposits being used to pay off Alameda creditors.
Long time. Loan to FTX trading. Assets in your account are the
Or who knew what? A lot.
all knew that these funds were put into Alameda. They were the funds owned by your depositors.
So I can't speak for who knew what. A lot of the customers on FTX did have, borrows either, in dollars or Bitcoin or euros.
But as you know, the FTX terms of service
Yep.
tell the people who signed up, none of the digital assets in your account are the property of or shall be or may be loaned to FTX trading. But you're saying that happened.
My understanding is a few things happen. The first is there is a margin trading facility. So there are,
Borrowing the money that belongs
Yep.
to FTX depositors, that's a bright red line, isn't it?
there are a lot of cases where that's actually explicitly part of the programs and that are
But
happening.
not
and people
here.
are
Here it
opting. says
says that the digital assets may not be loaned to FTX trading. They can't be loaned out.
There existed a borrow lending facility on FTX. And I think that's probably covered, I don't remember exactly where, but somewhere else in the terms of service.
But they'd have to approve of that. They're saying they didn't approve of it here. They're saying you approved of it.
If you rewind to the beginning.
All right, so that was just a snippet of this interview. Hopefully, again, if you play any type of copyright from these major media brands, it's like an insta shadow ban. So I can't show it all in continuity there, but hopefully you caught some of this, which is that he is completely just lying out of his fucking ass. Like
As
the guy
he's being
is
coached to do by his parents, who are Harvard law professors. That is uncomfortable, and expect more of that type of fuckery and bullshit when he goes in front of Congress on December 13th. What the fuck, dude? Lock him up.
His
Why are we doing
answer
it?
to the questions was essentially that he did not know. And if you caught the Caroline piece there, it's that Caroline is saying that he did know. So right now it's basically Caroline's in Hong Kong, he's in the Bahamas, and the CEO of both Alameda and FTX are at war with each other.
There's no way
That's
he
gonna be
didn't
the-
know. What are we? Why are we even debating this?
Yeah, are you an
I
idiot
don't-
or are you a criminal? You know, like which one do you want to be? And he's like, I'd rather just be an idiot, right? You're rather like, I didn't know what was going on in my
You're
own
a criminal
company.
either way, because criminal negligence, when you're breaking the, like when you have terms of service and agreements with the people that you're taking money from, and then you break those terms of service, like that's illegal. So like whether he knew he was breaking the law or not, he broke the fucking law. Like, but he knew. He's not a fucking dumb dude. Like,
Yeah.
I'm so frustrated, and this is why it's obnoxious to me that we keep giving him a platform to go out and try and spin it, because like, dude, he's just fucking lying. This is like,
Gabe, I want to get your take on this as well, but this felt like the first interview where the interviewer actually held his feet to the fire a little bit more. They asked straight up direct what happened to the customer funds, and then when he didn't answer the question, he re-upped on the
He's
question.
like, you didn't
again.
answer it. Yeah, well, he called him out, like, that's not an answer.
Exactly. So what are you thinking here, Gabe?
Yes. I mean, similar sentiment to what everyone's echoed here. I was watching this actually a little before the show today too. And I was pleased to see that they're making the Bernie Madoff comparisons. And it's kind of a similar shakeout, right? We started to see a downtrend in market conditions, and these sort of ends to these massive speculative bull runs shake out massive fraudulent happenings like in the case of FTX. It's very bizarre to me that this is his attempt at damage control. Like, I don't think he's doing himself any favors. Anyone that has any inkling of understanding of what's going on here just realizes it's complete bullshit, as Gifted has said as well. I don't know. I'm kind of I'm appalled. I watch it first with like morbid curiosity, and then by the end of the video, I just feel really gross and upset with the whole scenario, because this guy's he's not just hurting people who deposited funds. He's hurting the ecosystem. He's hurting the livelihoods of many. Probably half the people watching this show right now. I mean, it's such a colossal clusterfuck, and I have so many just angry thoughts and emotions about the whole damn thing. It blows my mind to see him banging through these interviews every 12 hours. It seems like.
And here's the thing: is he's not even following the playbook. He could just look at oil companies and the cigarette companies and just do what they do. You get a fall guy, you give him an $80 million golden parachute to do a little jail time, wash your hands of it. But he's trying to be like the front man in this Beatles band or something. Yeah. Like, nah, dude, you know. Just get your oil baron fall guy, or your cigarette fall guy, or you know, their arms dealer fall guy, or whatever, and just have them do a little jail time, you know, get a little cash bonus at the end. Come on, you don't do all this camera work. Get out of there, dude.
Yeah,
corporate America has been doing this for years. It's nothing new.
Yeah, who's going to be the fall guy in this instance, right? I mean, do we even think he's going to see any jail time? Like, what's going to come?
I'll take the fall. Give me $80 million and a golden parachute. I did it. I did FTX. I'm sorry. My bad.
It is a wild question to start asking yourself, because it never entered my mind that the guy wouldn't be somehow extradited back to the U.S. within the first couple months. And that is clearly not happening. There are a lot of news articles coming out from like the SEC head now, like big heavy hitters that are like trying to explain this scenario away other than outright fraud, which was committed by SBF. So it's amazing, actually. But you know, I'm surprised Marty McFly hasn't jumped in here yet. He must have. He's shown up a little late here, but I'm sure he's got the cabal of world leaders.
I think we're all exhausted, man. Then you know what? Again, that is actually, you're talking about playbooks, Fun Uncle. Like, that is part of the playbook. Is you just keep kind of like pushing the clock back, keep exhausting, keep like tiring people. You keep throwing out more and more fucking bullshit for people to like try and chase down until they lose sight of like the point. Right? It's like, this is actually a playbook.
He's got to wait out the next scandal. He has to wait till Pete Davidson starts dating somebody
exactly.
else. Then the news cycle. Right. Yeah.
Time is his friend, right? Because the longer that this draws out, the more people stop caring, right? And they get distracted by the other shit. So it's like, this is actually part of a fucking playbook. And
he's like, Putin, drop the bomb, please. Come on. I'll give you $80 million if you drop a bomb right now.
Putin as the fall guy, the literal fall guy.
Yeah, there it is.
We can also say it's not necessarily an oil company playbook. We could also call it the Do Kwon playbook, right? Because if anyone's benefiting from this current FTX cycle, it's guys like Do Kwon. We how many black swans have we had? Now we're just at the biggest black swan, right? But all the preceding fraudulent activities we've seen in the last 6 months exposed are now like, oh, great. Sam's on the hot seat. I can sit back here and jump on Twitch with Martin Shkreli and make jokes.
That was wild to see them like kind of come out and just be like, it's free now. I'm not the fattest pig in the hog house, so I'm not going to get killed here. So
yeah.
I do want to move on from SBF. People are somehow tired of talking about SBF, even though it's been on the news cycle for the past fucking 1 month straight. I do want to get to this Blur airdrop, but before I do, 2 updates from the guys sitting here, Gifted and Doc. Doc, I want to know what you've been up to with Bitlectro Labs and just your life in general since we last saw you on NFT Live, man.
I know. I moved across the country. I'm not going to give out my address. Okay. I know everyone's doxing here, but my first and last name's already on the internet. We're building some cool stuff. We just launched a new site for Bitlectro the other day, and we're actually migrating all of our cool apps, our physical redemption claims, our metadata reveal applications, and we're sort of staging the precursor to what's going to become the Dreamlands Battle Arena. So hopefully by end of day, we'll have something fun for everyone to look at. Yeah, no, it's still in the preview site. So we'll have something really cool for our holders coming up here very shortly. And picked up a new engineer not long ago. Kind of excited about that. And he's going to help bring us to the finish line with all of our Dreamland stuff. So yeah, that's my 10,000 foot overview, and some other things too, helping on a couple other Web3 projects. Still very much involved in the space and still building, as everyone says. So yeah.
Appreciate you. There's some core memories there. Seeing that Bitlectro Labs, CryptoVoxel's estate there. That was some early days, just getting after it.
Yeah.
Like Halloween parties and all that cool stuff, man. That was a fun time.
We hope to do that in the sandbox soon. Once everything's out of alpha or beta or whatever stage it is, we've got our cool sandbox estate that will do metaverse parties and hopefully have the whole Web3 crew there as well. It'd be great to have you host some with me, Q.
Absolutely, love to do it, man. Just let me know when. Gifted, you're coming off of Know Nothing November. Anything to report here?
Where's that wrestling bell so I can do my best Marty McFly? Oh, baby! Yeah, man, we'll survive. I mean, look, one of the things that we did, actually, this would be a fun thing to maybe post in the chat. One of the things that we did this morning was, there's this list of like November highlights from the crypto space that's going around. That's basically like, hey, November might have been the worst month in crypto history. It's just like listing out all the fucking crazy shit, both good and bad, that were going on. We literally like went through it bullet point by bullet point. But crypto's been wild. One of the things that I did this is a personal story, right? One of the things that I did personally because of all the craziness in Web3 and crypto and NFTs, and realizing, you know what? At the end of the day, there's not that much that we can actually control ourselves. So I'm going to focus inward. I'm going to focus on the things that I can control. So I did this really disciplined health program called Know Nothing November. Yesterday was the last day. And yeah, man, it's just been intense. I'm going to be like recapping the gains and then I'm moving into dedicated December, new program. So I don't know, man. I don't know what you want me to say. I'm really sore and I'm looking forward. I'm going to take a day or two off the gym this weekend for LA Comic-Con. Where we're hosting our panel, How Web3 is Changing Entertainment, and then I'm going to hit it again strong and try and stack some gains in December.
Did we get a confirmation on? No, wait. Did we get a confirmation on the costume for Comic-Con? I heard Chromie Squiggle.
Right now, Chromie Squiggle. The leading contender is actually My Little Pony. So if y'all think, let me know in the chat if you think I should dress up like My Little Pony or Chromie Squiggle for LA Comic-Con. But I mean, the truth is, I hate fun. And so, like, the chances of me actually putting in the effort to dress up for LA Comic-Con, my first ever time, is very low. But you know what? I do listen to the community, as Winebag's outro today will attest.
And so you're doing Nothing November, and then you're doing, what is it, Discipline December? What is it? Just
Dedicated
fucking January?
December.
Dedicated December.
It was
not
no
fucking around
November.
February. Okay.
Yeah. No Nothing November. Dedicated December's up next, and then I'm open to suggestions for what January should be too. Just do it. January.
Just kill me now, January. Right.
Just kill me now, January.
Just
sounds
throw
about
me in
right.
the dumpster. I don't give a fuck anymore. February. Right.
I'm almost there. I'm almost there. Prodigy is saying a lot of cussing on this episode of Thursdays, but Prodigy is saying fuck SBF, bro, isn't cool enough to have an abbreviated name. I'm gonna start calling him Sam. I like this the whole thing of calling him SBF.
Okay,
where did that come from?
Yeah. Oh,
Where did that
all
come?
right, Sam. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm calling him
It takes
Sam
some
from
of his
here on
power
out.
away.
Sammy.
It does.
Yeah.
Bankman.
Yeah. Takes some
Fried.
Of his, takes,
Banky boy.
takes some of his
Okay,
power
Sammy
away to just
Banks.
call him- Yeah.
Nick Swerve is saying Brittany Griner had an empty vape cart and is basically going through a different Guantanamo Bay. SBF is living all-inclusive resort life in the Bahamas still. Winebag saying I'll never get tired of that SBF. Sam dad bod. And a lot of different comments. Dickenza saying I don't know who knew what, even what I knew to my knowledge. That's my understanding.
That's my understanding.
Which is a great breakdown of that recent interview. Guys, we got to finish up the quick news, so I'm going to highlight this Blur airdrop. I know this was talked about in the GM Web3 morning show, but any details essentially that you got from talking about the Blur airdrop here on December 5th?
So basically, I think it's Tuesday, December 5th is when they've announced that the second airdrop is going to go live. Again, if you participated in the first one, it'll be a similar mechanic. So it's pretty easy. You just log in, connect your wallet. And then if you've got any to claim, there should be an airdrop button. Basically, it sounds like they're looking at activity on the platform to reward that. So they make it sound like listings count, which I hope so, because I haven't been doing a bunch of trading on Blur, but I have done a few listings. I'm going to be trying to go and like list, and maybe I'll buy and sell a couple things, or I don't know. I'm going to at least go try and do a few more listings before Tuesday, because that's like the cutoff. And then I guess you get supposedly, okay, one of the details in this is that supposedly this is going to be 10x bigger. So like, than the first airdrop. I don't know if that means it's 10x the crates, or if each of the crates is 10x more valuable than the first, but allegedly it's 10x bigger. And again, all of this is gamifying our own engagement, trying to get people on their platform. So, you know,
What's 10x of zero? I'm confused because
Yeah.
I got all those first crates. I still
Paxmarks.
don't know what they are. I'm not going to besmirch anyone giving me some cool free stuff. I love my airdrops. I'm still confused as to what I do with them on this platform. But that's okay.
When the other part of that is it sounds like January is still when the reveal, like, and you know what, it's going to be really funny, Doc, to your point, when it is revealed and people realize that they've basically been taken in and they got a bunch of fucking useless trinkets or something. You know,
I mean, that hasn't stopped me before. You know, like I love my Rocket League skins. You know, it's like,
well, those are not useless. Those are like, whoa.
No value.
Paxmark is saying listings do count, specifically if you list top 300 collections. And then I want to pull up as well the Dune Analytics dashboard for marketplaces. That orange is that's the first one. Volume and ETH. The orange piece here is looks rare. So we actually see that in November when it first launched, November 1st, we see that it takes up a majority of that volume in ETH, like even more so than OpenSea, which is the blue piece here. It's fallen off, of course, considerably. There was like a heavy incentive to be trading on the platform initially. And then you could see it in a nice pie chart form as well over the last 90 days. Volume, and then maybe if I even go to 60 days here, it's even more.
I mean, look, we got to give them credit where it's due. They have basically innovated on the airdrop concept to keep a more drawn out, you know, strategy, keep the conversation going, keep people engaged over a longer period of time, which will help them, you know, establish the habits, establish the platform, establish the user base. So we got to at least give them credit that like what they're doing seems to be working as far as, you know, setting up a competitive marketplace and getting sticky users in the door. It remains to be seen, again, like after the airdrop reveal, what it's actually worth, what the Blur token does, et cetera. It remains to be seen, you know, where we go after January. But it seems like at least probably through January, they've established themselves as a leader.
Yeah, we'll continue to follow Blur here because I believe Biggie Poppins uses that as his major marketplace. So I'm sure he'll give us updates as we go. Looks like Pax Mark saying when we get tokens, but we have no clue what Blur tokens are for. Blur is the way I get to keep using OpenSea without an OpenSea account. They do allow people to not pay royalties though. Oh, that's interesting. I didn't know that. Prodigy saying we look like the Web3 version of Grown Ups. Which Q is Sandler, Uncle is Kevin James, Gif is David Spade, and Gabe is Chris Rock. Let's make it.
I like that I got Chris Rock. That was awesome.
Gif is David Spade is a good one. Is a good one. Man,
bro, I'm way more jacked than David Spade. David
Am I looking in a mirror?
That's something David Spade would say, though.
Boy.
Yeah, it's classic Spade.
Classic Spade. Thank you for that. Oh man,
he's dying over there. It was so good. You killed MTQ.
What a great joke.
I'm just continuously hurt. Listen, one thing I am doing to wrap up quick news here on a Thursday, absolutely ridiculous episode.
Shortest episode yet, right?
I'm buying a CryptoHasbulla because I'm getting bullied by the Web3 Twitter account.
This.
Okay.
No, you've been saying this.
Okay. Look, I'm buying this one right here.
Oh my god.
That one has an Azuki. I kind of like it. Although that looks like a
Vincent
like a reference.
Vega.
Yeah, Vincent
Vega from Pulp Fiction, baby. Let's go.
I
almost bought one of these as well, Q. Jason Verner's my outreach guy at Bitlectro, and I have been eyeballing these for a while, and we're just like, yeah, should we get one? I'm amazed they're still at this price point, but they are hilarious.
They're holding well. They're holding well, Gabe.
Here's the thing. We all know that NFT culture very much runs on meme culture. And Hasbulla, for whatever reason, I mean, he's cute, he's funny, he's awkward, whatever it is, he has established himself as a living meme, one of the biggest of our generation, perhaps. So, you know what? I wouldn't be surprised at this point, based upon the fact that it's already been holding value, if this doesn't go on to actually be very valuable. I'm not saying it definitely will. Not financial advice.
No,
I'm just saying I am now feeling more bullish and actually thinking about buying one. The fact that it's holding value, we're talking about it.
Gif's gonna get
the fact that I see Hasbulla fucking everywhere. You know what I mean? It's like that's like he is a brand. He is a actual living meme. And I think that the value of what that is worth in the NFT space cannot be overstated. So, CryptoHasbulla, I'm getting more Hasbullish.
Oh, nice work. Nice one, my guy.
I'm gonna need you to stop Hasbullying me into buying one of these. But apparently me and Gifted are gonna be buying this together right after he drinks his Tau milk. Prodigy saying he's been on my ass about this. Nick Swerve is saying Web3 roast episode soon. Who are we roasting? Are we roasting ourselves?
Each other.
We're roasting each
other.
other.
We're gonna do it. We're gonna do a fucking roast. Somebody has to be the MC or the like. There's got to be one main MC. There's got to be one the roastee, the person of honor,
the roaster.
Everybody's roasters. Everybody gets to roast. Like if you ever see a roast, everybody gets a chance.
Comedy Central roast.
But the person of honor, the celebrity roastee, they get the last word. But they have to sit there and fucking take it for them.
Here's the funny thing about that is that the man of honor actually gets compliments. Everyone on stage gets roasted. Everyone. But the person who's getting honored, at the end, they say, you're actually a great guy and your career is pretty good or whatever. Like, they actually end up saying a compliment about him at some point. But
so
everyone, fair game.
Nifty Q gets to be the roasty, the man of honor.
I would love to bring Jeff Ross in for this. If we could somehow get him on the show,
we
the
can
resident roaster. We can't. Yeah, at this point,
he does prisons and stuff.
Dude, like honestly, can you imagine what Jeff Ross would say about like crypto bros and crypto and NFTs?
Oh man,
it would be absolutely brutal. I can't even imagine.
Doc, what are you sharing here? What CryptoHasbulla are you sharing with me here?
They made. I'm pretty sure that's Q as CryptoHasbulla. He has a backwards hat on. He's got a bearded mustache.
Is that Tau milk?
I don't know what Happy Dad seltzer is, but you were drinking a seltzer
Happy
water.
Dad.
Are you not?
Only
Yeah, what the heck?
1.69 ETH, bro. That's a steal.
Whoa.
Do we crowdfund this? Do we take donations from the chat?
We're
right
making
now?
money on this.
Yeah,
deal.
please donate. Donate to my Ethereum address for these crypto Hasbullas. What's a expensive Hasbulla? Like
Yeah, what's the most expensive bull?
Zuckerberg. Oh no, we can't do
Oh
these.
my
Like, what's the best real one?
Yeah, that actually sold. Right.
Oh,
Like,
good.
that's
Good
the
idea,
highest
good
last
idea.
sale.
Yeah.
Not like the fucking some
Let's see,
douchebag.
let's see.
Yo, wait, can we go back to that though? I think he had the sunscreen on his face.
Oh, the Zuckerberg?
Oh, he did. He looks like a
Wow.
ghost. Yeah. It looks like this was the last biggest sale here. Was a Squid Game Hasbulla.
Ah, okay.
0.4 ETH.
It's a twofer. It's two pop culture
Al
references.
Capone ETH. Oh, the
Leo?
the Wolf of Wall Street. These are pretty good.
Pretty good.
Dude, that Wolf of Wall Street one is fucking literally money. That is
I
fucking
actually-
literally money.
If this was in the range, I would buy. I know I've been saying I'm going to buy Hasbullas for the last month, but I would actually buy the Grinch Hasbulla if it wasn't 1.5 ETH.
In this economy.
That's gonna be a steal. I don't know what you're talking about. Give it another couple months, bro. Not financial advice.
Wow.
Someone
dude.
had a lot of fun making these.
Yeah.
I'm looking at like the random pop culture references and thinking, oh, this was fun to make.
Oh, okay. All right, we're gonna hop out. I wonder what the IP on all of that stuff is. Is the copyright? They just don't care.
That's
He's out of the country. He's just in
Parody?
he's in Kazakhstan, so he doesn't care.
I think it falls into parody protections for the most part.
It must, because
They did write Celtics on Larry Bird's jersey, which might, because it's not a licensed Celtic thing, they could probably the NBA could ding him on that, but not because it looks like Bird, right? It's like there's specific framework for all this stuff. Then there's the question of so do you have the capital to defend it if they go after you, even if it is fair parody? That's always a question. So,
Well,
yeah. Anyway,
I will donate to the royalties for Hasbulla's defense against the Boston Celtics.
What
Nick
a
Swervis
great
is saying,
cause. Yeah.
roast of Q, roast of GIF, roast of Kane Mayfield. This shit would be great. This is
Bro,
morphing
Kane
into
would
something.
fucking eat our lunch in a roast. Oh my god, I'd be
bloodthirsty.
horrified to show up if fucking Kane was on the.
He roasts us anyways. Every show
Yeah.
Kane is on, he just roasts us. I'm going to roast this sale really quick, and we're going to hop out of quick news because we are pretty deep into this episode. Ape3836 purchased for 16 wrapped ETH.
Wow.
Is this
my
wash
brain.
trading season?
Wow.
What?
I hope there was a little trade on the side there. They were, sending him a couple doodles with that or something.
Some
Otherwise-
Hasbullas went in the,
Yeah.
the deal.
Oh man, like 18 Hasbullas and 16 ETH for a Bored Ape. I don't know what that is. That has to be some tax loss harvesting, some
at
wash
the end of the year.
trading. 16 ETH. The floor is like 70. Come on, guys. All right. Guys. We are hopping into our first big piece of news for the NFT industry, which is that Coinbase wallet blocked on the Apple Store is happening right now. It literally happened an hour ago. This from Coinbase wallet themselves. So I'm going to pull up the tweet here that we can read through, but it says, you might have noticed you can't send NFTs on Coinbase Wallet iOS anymore. This is because Apple blocked our latest app release until we disabled the feature. Apple's claim is that the gas fees required to send NFTs need to be paid through their in-app purchase system so they can collect 30% of the gas fee. So I'm going to retweet that because that just feels amazing to say out loud. So Apple wants the gas fee to be paid to them. That is part of the fee, I guess, for transacting NFTs, and so they want that.
They're not mining or backing up the network, and it literally doesn't make sense.
The only service they're providing is like we have the device that they're using to purchase it. And so basically they're saying like they can either go on a computer and purchase it, or if you want to have the convenience of using our mobile device, we want to get a 30% cut is what they're saying.
But Uncle, explain to me how they think this is like. So we have to calculate the gas fee and then that send them a transaction? How would this even work? If I could, pay the $5 fee, how am I doing that?
Coinbase would need to, if they want to bend to Apple's rule, they would need to make another category of App Store or like iOS purchases. Like it's one price if you purchase it on an iPhone, or a different 30% lower price if you want to buy it on desktop or Android.
I think Apple knows full well that this is an impossibility, that there's no way to siphon the gas fee directly off of the transaction on the Ethereum network, and that Coinbase isn't willing to dip into their coffers and give payment there. It's just a way to exclude this type of transactions through the app and give some sort of seemingly passable surface level reason as to why, while knowing full well that the development for that can't presently be done, at least not easily or without significant cost. Follow-up question though. You can buy cryptocurrencies through Coinbase, through Robinhood, through any number of exchanges that have mobile wallets. So why are they not siphoning off the 30% there? Or why is that their reasoning in this instance?
So I don't actually understand the ins and outs of like why certain legal definitions or the structure, certain laws are structured or regulations are structured the way that they are. But I know that it has to do with being like a registered exchange, and that like, because to your point, Doc, if there wasn't an exception for like registered exchanges or whatever, then every single transaction that you did within a Robinhood or a Coinbase, even like exchanging Dogecoin for Shiba, you would have to pay 30% tax on that to Apple, right? And so there is an exception rule for registered exchanges. There's a loophole there so that they can operate on the platform. There should be a fucking loophole for this, for gas fees, because it doesn't fucking make sense what they're asking.
The dingleberries I'm smelling on this one is what it boils down to is, they made this deal with Goldman Sachs to come out with their Apple Card, and so they're making exceptions for the bank. Are you smelling those dingleberries? They're fresh and moist. I love
they
them when
are
turn crusty. Hey, and so this is all about in-game purchases. You know what I'm saying? Like your brick breakers and your Candy Crushes and stuff like that. Like they're trying to strong arm those app developers, and so they're just looking at NFTs in the same way. Like, oh, these are just more fun cosmetics for your little playthings. We want to get our dingle snippies off of that. And our Towthers. Sorry, I got so distracted.
but I'm with Gabe in that they know that the gas fee transaction piece that they're adding here isn't possible to do on like a user by user perspective. I was defending them to the NFT community. I thought they were somehow exempt from paying just fees that go through the app. I was defending Apple. I was saying this is their standard fee for everything. Like what we think because we're special because we're in the NFT space, we don't have to pay these fees. But like adding this gas fee transaction is such a weird move by them because it's not just their standard fee. It's like saying, "Here, pay this," even though we know you can't. And so I'm just confused at the whole thing.
Yeah, it's anti-business, anti-innovation, and it's nonsensical dingleberry nonsense to
facts
to Fun Uncle.
Wiser words were never spoken.
Yeah, well, those were your words. I was just
I knew I liked them.
Re-sniffing the dingleberry deliciousness.
The circle of life.
It doesn't make any fucking sense. That's all I had to say. And I think there should be a legal loophole / some kind of exception for this because technologically, like. I don't know. And okay, so real quick, sorry, I'm kind of like all over the place with this, but it does go back to the question, Q, about like, would I switch to an Android? Or what would it take to get me
switch to desktop at that point?
To actually switch to an Android device? It would take a lot. It would take a lot to get me to switch. And I don't think even like one app like Coinbase or Twitter would make it. But if Apple basically was to kind of in a broad stroke sort of way make it impossible for me to participate in Web3 because of the way that they're treating this technology and all these businesses, at that point, I might be looking to exit.
You know what would make me switch is no more cell phone plan. If a phone came out and they're like, you don't have to pay for a cell phone plan. Like there's no more. Because I pay like $70 a month for just to have a phone number. If they came out with a phone that was like, yeah, it's whatever. Just buy the device, connects to the internet.
That's not possible though, right? Because they
introduced another fee. They got
Starlink, man. I think here's the future is
that's a subscription, isn't it?
I
assume they have a subscription.
Think about the typical nuclear family. They have to get Sally Sue and Bobby Joe. They have to get their cell phone and their data plan, and so does my wife, and I have to have one too. What if I had one like 6G hotspot that supported all of those devices simultaneously? And that's a Starlink device, or maybe a Helium router or something like that. Like I think that's where we're heading.
Uncle, you've been covering this for a while. Like you've been covering the hardware phone development on the technology side. Like I've been watching some of your shows. So this is like right up your alley, which is really cool to have you on the show today. I want to also, and just please continue to give me a little bit more info that you have there. Based on that research and stuff you've been doing.
Sprinkle those berries. Sprinkle those dingleberries liberally.
I'm crusting them out, boy.
Coinbase Wallet is saying this is akin to Apple trying to take a cut of fees for every email that gets sent over open internet protocols. So that's a solid analogy by them.
I want to touch back on something Fun Uncle said. We might be over here like, head scratching, like, oh, what's the purpose of this? Why draw the line there? I think Fun Uncle touched on it. It may be that it sets precedent for all of the Candy Crushes, all of the in-game app purchases, and says, hey, this might be a way for these companies to go back and say, no, you're gouging us, but you're allowing X, Y, and Z companies to sell NFTs by basically drawing a line in the sand and making sure they get their cut of the NFT marketplace as it keeps the cash cow, the in-game tokens, in-game gems moving.
Well, and I have one more addition to that. There's one more to that is Apple has not released their AR headset yet. And I have a feeling it's because they want to build their own ecosystem for that augmented reality headset with their own version of the metaverse to compete with Meta, and that will come with its own NFT marketplace as well. And so that's
blockchain. It'll probably come with its own blockchain. Look, if everybody else can, if everybody else can have their own fucking L1 or L2. Apple is the most valuable company in the world. One of the big, they've got more tech expertise than anybody. If you don't think that they're actively figuring out how to launch their own fucking blockchain, their own marketplaces, they absolutely fucking are. First of all, I think though, to Doc Gable's point, you're absolutely right that so much of this is about protecting certain standards. Again, this goes back to when this is what got me so infuriated about, I'm about to go off on a bunch of
Let's go.
I got really infuriated when the competition in the NFT marketplaces so quickly threw artist royalties under the bus and basically threw out this sort of standard expectation that the creators and builders in the space have been working to establish. Like that, they just threw it out because these standards and expectations that you set amongst consumers, amongst individuals in an economy, in a market, in whatever, they're very, very powerful. And once they're established, they're incredibly hard to upturn. In Apple's specific case, one of the reasons why Apple has become the most valuable company in the fucking world, the most valuable brand in the world, is because they very early on set very strict standards. One of them is having a closed ecosystem. One of the others is they do not do sales or discounts. They don't do it. It is a standard. So you're paying a premium price for an Apple product. You cannot go buy a brand new Apple product anywhere for a discounted price. There's no fucking Christmas Toyotathon Apple sale. They do not do it, and they set a standard and they stick to it. So I absolutely think they're under fire from a lot of different sides, with Epic Store and the games, to Doc Gable's point, all fighting right now. Twitter, Elon Musk right now is also fighting about this fee. They know they're under attack. They are absolutely circling the wagons and trying to protect this standard of a 30% fee because that is their fucking cash cow.
Okay. So this goes to both you and Gabe's point on the fee process, right? Like I'm fine with them charging the same amount for NFT transactions in the fees as they do for a Candy Crush, as they do for an Epic Games, or all of these things. Like I defended them when the NFT space wanted to somehow get out of those fees. This is an implementation of a rule that can't be followed. Like,
Exactly.
like, that full stop. There's nothing else to be said. Like, what do they expect Coinbase to do? I guess like is Coinbase gonna have a rebate here? Like, here's another thing. Like, this favors blockchains that don't have really strong gas fees, right? Like Coinbase wallet obviously is going to be. Well, I think they have implementations other than Ethereum. I'm not a user of the iOS Coinbase wallet for NFTs, but I'm sure that they have some type of implementation for Polygon or for another blockchain with less gas fees.
We actually speculated about this when it first came out that Apple was going to be taking their 30% fee on all transactions. And what I said was, I think the Apple App Store, for the most part, is not going to be for art collectibles, for Ethereum-based NFTs. It's going to be for gaming. It's going to be for scalable app, like in-game marketplaces, using things like Polygon, using things like Solana, things that can scale better. Because for artists, for expensive, Ethereum transactions, trying to do that at scale with an additional 30% tax on top of it, it doesn't work. Right. So I don't think that the App Store, and also, again, we all, like, this was another part of it. The App Store has very specific standards and expectations for the apps that get approved and go into their App Store. So again, like big development companies, gaming companies, large brands, they're going to be building on Polygon. We already know that, right? So they are more positioned to still be able to utilize and operate within the iOS ecosystem, as we kind of predicted, than anything Ethereum based.
So Paxmark is saying Apple is actually trash. Winebags is saying amen to some of the comments here. Paxmark is saying if you actually use an Apple, Amazon, Google blockchain, then you don't get blockchain. Web3 is the best soap opera going, says Will D. And Marty McFly is catching up to us. Don't lap us here, Marty McFly, if that's possible. But he's saying he's catching up at 2x. My comments will be off timing, but FUD as usual. Apparently, GIF and Doc are long lost brothers, is what is being said here. So I can see it.
I'll take that. I'll take it. Gif's a handsome man, so if I can be Dingle brother related, I'll take it.
Doc's the most handsome one here, though.
That's not true.
I think you're muted, Uncle.
I just love that Dingle Bros. That's brand.
Dingle Bros.
Trademark. Dingle Bros.
Pound it.
Hey, I got you. I'll fist you up. Here's the thing going on here is I remember there was a time when Sony tried to come out with his own MP3 player, and we were like, no, we're not going to use the big companies. There's this hip company that came out with an MP3 player called Apple. It's like a really small company. We're going to get their MP3 player. And then like Yoo-Hoo's like, hey, we got a search engine. Like, we're not using Yoo-Hoo. We're going to use this like really cool like startup out of a garage called Google as our search engine, like, and then those became like these massive companies that have strangleholds over us. So here's the hope with Web3 is some incredible company being built in their parents' garage right now will be this hip, cool thing that tells Apple, fuck you, crushes out this competition and becomes the new safe haven for Web3. Got my fingers crossed, guys. Drink that towel milk.
Anybody that comes, go ahead, GIF, go ahead.
Well, I was going to say, I'm so glad that you gave credit to Yoo-Hoo because it's still the best search engine for finding the highest quality chocolate towel milk. Use Yoo-Hoo.
Use Yoo-Hoo. Anybody that comes to me with an idea and talks about social media and they're talking about like raising funds for like a decentralized social media, I just run for the hills, man. Like when is the last time we saw a startup become a huge social media app? Is it TikTok? Is it Snapchat? Snapchat?
TikTok's
how long ago was that?
Though TikTok's Chinese government though. I don't think
but Asia has never had a giant successful social media, like global social media company.
WeChat.
TikTok, isn't WeChat owned by Meta or no?
No. WeChat's over there. What's a conglomerate company that owns all of those?
ByteDance.
Sorry for derailing you. Though. No, sorry for derailing
Tencent. Tencent owns a whole bunch of the tech over there.
We have a glaring hole in our Chinese like Asia market knowledge that we need filled by some, like, as this network grows, we need like an Asia on the ground.
Aren't we? All right, now to on the ground in China. Our Asian correspondent.
It's like
Please teach
raining.
us four
It's
white guys
raining.
what's going on.
Oh man.
Oh man, that's great.
I thought
Sorry,
that's
Giff, I
what
interrupted
Doc,
you.
No, I thought that's what Doc Gables was here for, actually. But I guess
The
not.
Asian
Oh, you're right,
correspondent.
Chinese
I did.
influence.
Yeah, what's
That's
happening
why I've
there,
been
Gabe?
gone. I was took me forever to move here, down to Southeast Asia. Yeah, I wish I
You
could,
walked.
I
You
wish I
took the
could-
Silk Road.
Yeah, I mean, I'm tunneling through VPN Onion Tor network to be here today. I'm still concerned that my social credit score is going to be down. I'm not going to be able to take the train to go do my grocery shopping later. But actually, I'm being silly. But I feel like these are real problems we'd run into if we had an Asian correspondent living in mainland China trying to get any commentary on Web3 and decentralized technology.
Just imagine when we have CBDCs that are attached to our digital soul-bound identity, and when your social score drops but below a certain level, they cut off all of your funds and then send the robot assassins to fucking come get you. That's literally where we're going right
You
now.
got like
it's
a
not
robot
even
Liam
far away.
Neeson. I will
It's
find
not
you.
this is not like some like fantasy, sci-fi apocalyptic thriller. This is literally fucking happening.
I don't know how far we got off the rails here, but I'm going to attempt to steer us back onto
Don't you dare.
the right direction.
Don't you dare.
What is the last? So predictions on what happens next with Coinbase? Well, basically all Apple users now that want to trade NFTs with their mobile wallet. One, this was on the latest release, right? So if you haven't updated, you can still apparently trade NFTs because they're just blocking the latest update. For Coinbase. Well, please correct me if I'm wrong.
My impression was the latest update was going to include NFT purchases. That's why they blocked it. So the old version doesn't have NFT purchases in it. That's the impression I had, at least.
So what about standard non-custodial wallet solutions within the App Store? Like people are still buying and minting NFTs using mobile MetaMask. What are the limitations there? I mean, or is this are they setting precedent and they're going to come after some of the the non-exchange based wallets next? It just doesn't make a lot of sense to me. The more I unpack this, I don't know. What is the next move?
It's it's really interesting because you would think actually with Coinbase already having a registered exchange exception for a lot of their in-app transactions, you'd think if anybody was going to be more lenient or be able to get away with it, it would be Coinbase. Maybe they're using Coinbase as an example since they're the new ones out there and they're a big dog and they've got the exchange. I don't know why they would specifically be targeting Coinbase, but it feels to me like they're setting a precedent and that this will impact other apps. But
I want to package your comment, GIF, about Coinbase, trading, right, or Robinhood trading, like all these things. These happen on Coinbase, maybe off chain, like the transactions happen off chain when someone buys and sells. I don't think they're like physically making an ETH transaction when someone is buy sell trading. I think they're like holding a certain amount of assets on their books. I'm getting way in the weeds here, but like, they don't charge a gas fee when someone sells ETH on Coinbase mobile. So is that what you're kind of getting to? It's like
there's a Coinbase fee, but Coinbase does not have to pay, as far as I know, a 30% tax
on the gas
Apple
fee
for every because again, every single fucking transfer or transaction that you did in the Coinbase marketplace, you would have to pay a 30% tax on top of that unless there was an exchange exception. Same thing with Robinhood. Imagine if you had to pay Apple a 30% tax on top of every single fucking trade and transaction.
Yeah, especially for something, again, like ETH. We're talking about the gas fee transaction here. It's like you're not paying when you buy, sell, and trade ETH on a Robinhood. So I just don't think it's moving like that on Robinhood. I think they keep a certain amount of ETH on their books, but not everything. So it doesn't work like an NFT transaction. It works much more like a bank, I think, where they keep a certain amount of money for liquidity for the trading, but they're not like physically sending. They're not matching.
That's probably part of what helps define them as like a legal exchange or whatever. Like I'm sure that there's certain stipulations that are all laid out somewhere that they have to abide by. That's how they get to register themselves and then get this special treatment, right? So that they can run a marketplace app without getting those fees. Again, there needs to be some kind of regulation around this that comes out that actually protects it and makes it possible.
Gotcha.
Otherwise, again, like you're going to make it impossible to do business because again, imagine if just for a second, do the thought experiment. If Robinhood was beholden, like any of these market exchanges, if you use Webull or any of them, imagine that you had to pay a 30% tax to Apple just for using their operating system that the app's running on for every single transaction. You literally couldn't do it. You'd just be losing money left and right, even more than you probably already are in bad years like this. So it wouldn't work. You wouldn't be able to trade. You wouldn't be able to do it. Everybody would be losing money. It would shut down the entire fucking industry. And so this does become an existential question for NFT marketplaces, and in either Apple, like there's going to have to be some kind of exception or better understanding for how these are treated in Apple's iOS, or they're going to have to go elsewhere, or just figure out a whole different iOS and like phone. To back to Fun Uncle's point, maybe this is what pushes the hardware development. And software because you need an operating system, but maybe creating the closed, fully integrated Web3 hardware is what gets pushed, and more innovation focused there. Because if the Web2 existing, networks and operating systems are going to basically shut out the technology, shut out the industry, then you got to go somewhere else.
All right, folks, we're going to move on to our last topic here. Was Anon founders getting doxxed finally, and somehow we should be really, just loving them for finally coming out and doxing themselves. But if you have any last thoughts here on this Apple versus Coinbase wallet news, please drop it in the chat. Also, while you're down there chatting away, please leave a like here on the network and on the show. It does help get the episode out. We appreciate it very much. And if you're here for the first time, welcome. We do this Monday through Thursday, every day, 1 p.m. to about 2:30 p.m. Eastern time. So we appreciate you showing up here today, and we do so all week. And we have the wonderful Fun Uncle putting out shows on the network. We got Speakeasy. We have a lot of different shows that happen throughout the week. So we appreciate you here today.
Announcing our new show coming up very, very soon, Dingle Bros with myself and Doc Gable is going to be every single 6th and 9th of
What's the
month.
topic of combo?
I'm pretty sure that Dingleberries came up in reference to the App Store fees. So it's probably just going to be focused on legislation and fee structures. Yeah, Dingle Bros.
Burying the lead there.
It's all the stuff that slides through the cracks.
We're going to smell our own farts for 90 minutes on the 6th and the 9th of every month about hot takes about politics, murderous robots, social credit scores, and the Illuminati and CIA involvement in NFT psyops.
We're going to get to the bottom of this one, right, guys?
I'm never getting a job in academia ever again.
Dingleberries?
That statement.
All right, cool.
Jacob just watches these shows. Our editor, Jacob, does a fantastic job. He just watches these shows. He's like, what the fuck?
Who are these assholes?
All right. I didn't see any comments come through there on the last Apple and Coinbase wallet topic. You guys shared that early in that talk. So we're going to move on to our last topic of the day, which is two major founders in the NFT and Web3 space coming out and doxing themselves, G Money, and we got Kevin DeGods here with a whole Wikipedia page. Kevin Henriksen is Frank DeGods apparently, and now is Kevin DeGods. Is that what I'm hearing?
No, there's two on the DeGods team.
Oh, they both dox themselves.
This guy, I guess, is like a CTO or a CFO. This was actually the buried one. I didn't even hear about this until I was actually reading the article. This one is not the like big shiny one. It's Frank DeGods is also doxed himself. And
I was looking for
again,
his
you know what?
docs.
A lot of people talk about the bare minimum when it comes to like gender dynamics, and this to me is actually like a bare minimum. Like, oh, good job, you're doing the bare minimum. You're like doing what every other legit founder in the space already knows is important if you want to be any sort of serious business leader who people respect and take seriously. Look, this is an industry that's developing, and they're making a big fucking splash and like making it a big deal. I think it's fucking stupid. And you know what's really funny about G Money is that like he is really milking this thing. No, he is milking it because you know what I could be wrong. I read the article. I don't even think that he published his name yet. So he's literally like, here's just my face. You can figure out my name later.
That's marketing. It's good. It's kind of good marketing, to be honest.
I'm just wondering, how do you release your name in private, though? That is the real question here. Like, he wants to dox himself, but how does he do it in a private, non-public way? I think that's the real question.
G Money looks like every NFT merch release that's ever been exist, like all black. Just like this guy, like if there was just a Bored Ape logo right here, like that would just make.
Or Balenciaga, yeah, it's all the same.
Oh my,
it's all the same, all black,
Yeezy,
everything.
Yeah, Yeezy season 8.
God. All right, so I've got a couple topics related to this, right? So I think this was brought up in the GM Web3 morning show this morning. The question was, is the era of Anon founders in Web3 and NFTs over? With this move, I have trouble even finishing that statement because there's in my opinion, there's always going to be some anonymous kind of people in this space, and they're gonna found projects, and it's up to you at home if you're investing in this certain projects to measure the risk level of what that means to have anon founders be at the head of the project that you're getting into. But I'll open it up to the chat. Yeah,
I think the question specifically is the era of like the super hyped, famous Anon NFT founders basically over? Because yeah, you're right. There's always going to be people trying to use anonymity to launch projects, but is this a signal that the industry is maturing enough to say like, you know what, we don't really want to be focusing on hyping people that are not accountable in any way to their communities?
I also think about Satoshi Nakamoto, when I think about situations like this, where it was a guy who, when he was coming out with the technology, he didn't want to dox himself because he was just like, hey, it's not about me, it's about the tech, And there was a little bit like, we make these founders into celebrities, like look at, Elon Musk and Tim Cook and Bill Gates, like are now like larger than life because they were the founders of these companies. And there's a little bit of something, and again, I go back to Satoshi Nakamoto. Most people have nefarious means when they do these things, but they're like, hey, it's not about me, it's about the tech. I'd rather live a private life and just focus on the company. And I think there's something beautiful about that.
There is. And you know what's beautiful about that? Satoshi doesn't have a Twitter account. So like, here's the thing. If it's really about the tech,
but he was
Don't go do a bunch of fucking interviews with a mask on and fucking hype your Twitter. Don't go like make yourself into a celebrity that's all in the fucking PR and like making yourself out to be this larger than life fucking personality. If it's about the tech and it's not about you, don't make it about you. Satoshi isn't out there fucking wiling out on fucking Twitter, building his own personal brand. So
it's a good point. I mean, I think there's very real reasons for a creator or founder or developer to remain anonymous in this space. Like in the case of Tornado Cash recently, right? Like, sure, you take away the creators, you suddenly have a Tumblr that's still functional, that provides an added layer of censorship resistance and reduces an audit trail, which some people need for perfectly legal and perfectly fine, OPSEC sort of reasons. In Fun Uncle's winking, we know there's nefarious people that use some of these networks, but that's the wonder of the censorship resistance of Bitcoin, right? It's also sort of emboldened or maybe just strengthened by the fact that, hey, yes, Satoshi doesn't have a Twitter. He never talks about it. His last message board post was 12 years ago or something like that. So it really depends on the purpose of the tech.
Gabe, great, absolutely fantastic points there on the security points that you talked on. The Satoshi Nakamoto piece is interesting to me because he kind of came up before social media was really big. If you think about it, like what would Satoshi look like if he founded Bitcoin in 2017 or 15? Like, what does that look like?
Well, I think on that point, so first of all, to Doc made some great points there. I would also point out that what he's talking about with Tornado Cash is also about the tech. It's not about an NFT project or a found, right? So it's like these are again, I think it's kind of apples and oranges when we're talking about NFT projects, founders versus the tech, right? Which again, Fun Uncle was talking about Satoshi. But imagine how much different our whole perspective and experience of Bitcoin would be if Satoshi was some fucking flagrant Twitter troll out there putting himself at the center of every fucking conversation. Yeah. Imagine how much different Bitcoin would be.
I think we can, right? Imagine if, the bizarre reality where what's his name? Stephen, who's the guy?
Sam Bankman?
No, part of the Bitcoin Foundation. I'm forgetting. Purveyor of Bitcoin Cash, who claims to be Satoshi, and who's Stephen
Roger
Wright.
Ver.
Roger Ver. Is it Stephen Wright or Roger Ver? Who am I thinking?
Craig Wright.
Craig Wright. I'm like confusing all these damn names right now. So imagine if he actually was Satoshi, and you had that guy as the mouthpiece. And he'd bring ruin to the ecosystem, unfortunately. Vitalik is kind of amazing in the fact that he is a Twitter personality occasionally, and he always tends to be on the right side of arguments. He's very conscientious in the way he chooses to make and leave commentary on political trends in crypto, exchange compromises. He's tactful. I mean, maybe he has a very good PR person that doesn't let him post his own tweets without a filter. Either that or he's just brilliant. But it's...
No, I agree. And you know what? I don't. So a lot of people talk about Vitalik's, massive dong, how well endowed he is. But I actually don't think
it was a water bottle.
Says you. So I don't think that actually Vitalik gets enough credit for what Doc is saying, which is that like he really is in a position where he could make it about him, let his ego lead, and yet somehow this dude, who's a pretty young guy, is also very wise. He is not a big ego. He's focused on the tech, and he stays and he keeps his commentary, to your point, like pretty I don't know, like tame or just not super controversial or not negative. Like I don't know, man. Like even somebody as brilliant as Elon Musk cannot help himself from just like touching every single fucking fire barehanded. Yeah, exactly. And so, you know what? Hopefully Vitalik can actually keep that sort of stoic, wise aura about him, and he doesn't get dragged into the fucking Twitter, trash heap at some point, because I do think that I think it's negative and it detracts from the tech, from the mission, from whatever else is going on. And so, you know what? I just actually really like that point. I think Vitalik deserves a lot of credit.
When the SBF stuff started coming out 10 fucking years ago, basically at this point, aka November 1st, aka maybe a little bit before that, that was what we pointed to, was like the only thing that would make that could be worse at this point, because SBF was that for the space. People forget that because we've been talking shit about him for a year and a half, but SBF was on the level of, I don't want to say like long-term reputation, but he was up on that Vitalik level of being a leader in the space. Probably more people outside of crypto know SBF before this debacle than Vitalik. So, the only, and I a roundabout way of saying the only guy that would make it worse if something came out would be, like you're saying, Vitalik, or if Satoshi came out of hiding and was like, hey, I'm here and I'm also a fucking asshole. Like that would be a major negative for the space.
It's Dan Blazarian.
Or I was gonna say fucking Epstein or something like that. But no, like I think what we were talking about, Q, was you were asking like, is there anything at this point that would actually make you say fuck this and like sort of exit, get out of the space? And I was trying to think like, is there anything that could be so fucking bad, even after all this, that would finally get me to kind of like throw in the towel and just say, fuck crypto? And the one thing that came to mind was, you know what, if Vitalik like came out to be some fucking massive scammer, or some really bad shit came out, or if Vitalik went off the deep end and started doing like really fucked up shit, that would actually really fuck me up, because again, there's so many like negative shitty leaders, so much bad shit, and there's so few, it feels like there's very few really great leaders out there. And again, that's why he deserves so much credit, because I feel like he's holding a lot of responsibility on his scrawny little shoulders very well right now. And I don't know, man, that would really hurt me though if it came out that Vitalik was doing something. Or I think the other part of that was like, if Ethereum just got fucking hacked and like went down, I'd be like, shit, like.
Yeah, Bitcoin got hacked, Ethereum got hacked. It's a human condition to prop these people up. It's not like a Web3 thing. Even though we want to be decentralized, like we gravitate towards putting a lot of responsibility on singular individuals. But maybe we should kind of like evaluate this and be like, let's take Vitalik off the pedestal a little bit, or like try to think about this stuff. Because if it did come out that happened, like I don't want that to be the reason why I'm leaving the fucking space. Like I'll just do my own shit. Fuck. I'm not gonna say it, but like if something did come out, I would be like, yo, fuck that guy. I'll continue in this space. I don't think anything would pull me out of this space at this point. I'm too deep.
So and that was actually an argument for maybe more of these leaders should be undoxed. Do you know what I'm saying? Like Vitalik, like go back behind the scenes, behind the curtain, and let's have the Wizard of Oz, fantasy of what you look like in art.
It's an interesting idea, but I think that we're conflating different things, right? Because there's a difference between being doxed and then being like a front man making everything about you, pulling attention away from the like these are different things, right? Because I'm happy that I know who Vitalik is. He's a legit dude who's pretty responsible, and that he's not at the epicenter of every single fucking controversy, right? So it's like, I actually think even though he is out there, has an opinion that I'll voice from time to time, he's not sucking up all the oxygen in the room and desperate to make everything about him. So I feel like he's kind of the best of the two worlds, right? Like I don't think I would want founders and leaders again to be undoxed, because that actually encourages, I think, bad behavior, or it reduces accountability. But I think to your point, Uncle, like I think the ideal is for them to be doxed and then not to be egotistical, megalomaniac, crazy scam artists.
Paxmore is saying, I disagree. Clearly, Vitalik and Eric Voorhees are the messiahs. Will D saying Q is correct. Trading happens off chain. Okay, so we got some people that are catching up to us here in the episode. But guys, we're gonna have to hop off here soon. I do want to kind of take it back to Gibbs' point. We were talking about kind of two separate things. So in NFT projects, are you guys still investing in Anon founder projects? Are you getting into a project that has an Anon founder at this point?
I have not been for a while, unless like there was like a small, like maybe I bought in at like a 0.1 or less project that was just like oh, this is pumping. I was like, fuck it. But I have not, I don't take any project without Doxxed Founders seriously at this point, at least in any terms of real investment level. The only one that look, I was going to say CryptoHasbulla, but we know who Hasbulla is. So like, we already know kind of.
I'm getting into that full well, understanding that I might not see a return on the Hasbullas. It's either going to 0 or 10 ETH.
I think it depends on why we're buying, right? So in the case of the Hasbulla NFT, it's a novelty. It's something fun. You want it in your wallet. It's a small piece of novelty art for you to collect. I still buy some things from anonymous teams just because I like the novelty. There is a lot of novelty in this space, right? Like I was a collector as a child. I was in a Discord this morning. We were talking about Pogs and Magic cards and how many of us were collecting these knickknacks, trinkets. I got trinkets behind me. I still do it, right, in the physical space. And not that Web3, that NFT collecting is an extension of that, but there is some large subset that just exists as pretty pictures. And I'm still buying some of those, just because they're retro nostalgia for me, or maybe the music's cool, maybe the video's cool, maybe I like.
But at what level of investment are you going?
Very low, right? Projects? Very low, right? Yeah, I'm not YOLOing into the crypto Hasbullas. And again, yeah, I did like Gift's comment on conflating, like protocol level things versus speculative, a speculative asset class, i.e. NFTs. Not that Bitcoin and Ethereum aren't also speculative, but yeah, I think if you're making strong claims about what it is you're going to do in the space, then you need to have at least some of your team doxed, right? I'll accept the odd engineer here and there that it isn't disclosing their first and last name, but for the price points that some of these things are commanding, doxing is pretty damn critical.
For those of you that are following along were in the space in the ICO era, that we've come a long way. I will say that. I would say a third of ICO projects had undoxed team members. It was a wild, wild time. It was you really had to even dig deep to people that said they were who they were. It was a fake picture and fake names and like that. It was just a whole nother era of kind of degenerate, as I would say. But we are finishing up today's episode of NFT Live. We had some degeneracy happen on this episode. We appreciate you guys tuning in. I want to give the stage to these three gentlemen here. If you guys have anything that is happening in your lives or in the Web3 space for yourself, please go ahead and do so. I'll start with Gifted because I do have the tweet pulled up. You are doing this Comic-Con piece.
Let's go.
You're hosting
the
co-panel. Ben Morrow.
Well, actually, you know what? I got a sad email from him yesterday that there's a small chance he might not make it because apparently there's really bad storms. He's actually flying in for it. And apparently in the Pacific Northwest right now, there's like some crazy storms happening. So keep your fingers crossed and pray for us that Ben does not have to cancel his flights to LA for this. But yes, we have an amazing panel with or without him. Ben, Cass, Raj, Jeff, myself are going to be holding it down this weekend on Saturday at LA Comic-Con, how Web3 is changing entertainment. I'm very, very excited about this. I've never been to LA Comic-Con, much less gotten to moderate a panel there. And this is the first ever Web3 Presents panel at a big event like this. So help us share it out and especially let your friends in LA know LA Comic-Con is happening this weekend. And it would be amazing to see some friendly faces there.
Speaking of Doxxed Founders, shout out to Jeff, one of my favorite people in the space. Love Warp Sound, and
Jeff
he's just
Nicholas,
a great human. We've collabed on a few things, and really like him and his team. And he's just all good vibes, good attitude about everything, an honest human. Yeah, I'll say that, and then he'll pull an FTX next week, and then I'll be quoted and canceled myself. I'm just kidding.
I'm pulling that clip.
Jeff's great. Anyway, all right.
Gabe, any last thoughts on what you're doing in space, or anything you want to leave us with?
I guess check out the new Dreamland site. Hopefully live later today. Fingers crossed.
Oh hell yeah!
Get it up yesterday. It's fun, and it's a precursor of some of the larger roadmap items that we're building, and you'll get a sense of where everything's going to live.
Tweet at us when it's live. We'll share it out across our channels, man.
Awesome, appreciate you.
Awesome, Fun Uncle, take us out, man. As only you can do. Oh well, God, you got to be unmuted if you want to take us out.
Hey, Rook move.
Actually, I'm in the Pacific Northwest. It's snowing right now, and my heater's on for the first time ever, and it's like blowing into the mic. But I had to announce that Gifted's going to be doing the Sam Bankman-Fried film. I had to make sure this information got announced. Hey, but I have a new episode of Fun Uncle. I'm talking about Gary Vaynerchuk, VFriends, and his outlook on the market. That is posting tomorrow morning. You guys check that out.
Oh,
this is actually huge. Out.
I don't think we've actually teased out that Gary V is coming on your show.
Gary V is gonna be on my show. I'm interviewing him tomorrow. You can check that out. 7 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. The video is already ready to go. Can't wait to post it.
Yes.
Catch that tomorrow.
Heck yeah, Fun Uncle.
Hell yeah.
This is just great job by Quantum Variant too. Good shout out there, Uncle. I will be tuning in to your Gary V interview as well. That's going to be an amazing episode.
I had
here on
fun
the
doing
network.
it. I had fun doing it. Yeah, I can't wait to share it.
Awesome, man. That's going to be actually. Oh, this is what we were talking about on Monday.
On Monday. Yeah.
Oh
on
my
Monday.
god.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah. I
All
can't
right.
wait to share it.
All
Yeah.
right. Well, we appreciate you guys so much. Marty McFly. Let's go through the list here. Will D, Paxmark, Squatchman, Prodigy. Let's see. Big Bubble, Wine Bags.
vibe,
All
our
of you guys
tribe.
that were in here. Nick Swervis, of course. Gang. There. And to everybody that tuned in. If you're on Twitter, if you're on Twitch, if you're on YouTube, thank you so much. We will see you next week for another edition of NFT Live. Stay safe out there. And if you're in LA, get to Comic-Con. We'll see you guys later. Our vibe, our tribe. Peace.
Cheers.
SBF! You sick fucking bastard! Every word out of your mouth is a goddamn lie! Every reporter that has given you a pedestal should be shot! You have stolen billions of dollars, and the only thing that you could say is that you are deeply sorry! You are not deeply sorry, and you're not a goddamn vegan! How does one eat 7,000 shrimp by accident? This was no accident, sir! You commingled with your hedge fund on purpose!